Court will call 25 FO 2249 Dane County versus William Jones. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the county. Mr. Jones appears in person, in custody, without counsel.
Mr. Jones, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office read those reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they've charged you with a county ordinance violation of disorderly conduct. It's a municipal citation. It's similar to a parking ticket. If this is the only thing holding you here today, no matter what you plead, you're going to get out. Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved today. What is the county's offer for resolution of this municipal violation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of no contest or guilty, the county would recommend court costs only as a sentence.
Mr. Jones, if you wanted to plead no contest or guilty, I would find you guilty and assess the court cost of $114.50, and you'd have some time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case can be set for further proceedings. No matter what, you're getting out today. How would you like to plead to this charge? I'll find you guilty based upon your no contest plea. I will assess court costs of $114.50. It takes care of this ordinance violation. You'll have some time to pay. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, Mr. George. All right, so next is David Ludington. Mr. Ludington, there's a big part. I was down in the OLES. Mr. Ludington.
Court will call 25 CM 2765 State of Wisconsin versus David Ludington. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Mr. David Ludington appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading, stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges, and Mr. Ludington has told me that the 1819 Aberg Ave address is a good mailing address for him.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Ludington's behalf. State's position on it.
Yes, the state is asking for a signature bond with the only condition of no controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a prescription.
Any objection?
No objection.
I'll give you a signature bond then, and I will order that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription during the pendency of this action. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Only just a moment for sir.
So they're not supposed to go for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Who's next?
It's Jason Cox.
Yeah, good to keep your one.
The office also. If you're receiving the last it's not here. Yes, don't.
I started wearing.
Next is Jason Cox. For a court, Jason Cox. Paperwork, they stand forward.
Court will call 25 FO 2251 Dane County versus Jason Cox. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the county, and Mr. Cox appears in person, in custody, without counsel.
Mr. Cox, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those reports, decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they've charged you with a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. It's a municipal citation similar to a parking ticket. No matter if this is the only thing holding you, no matter how you plead, you're gonna be released today. Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved today. What is the county's offer for a resolution of this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of no contest or guilty, the county would recommend court costs only.
Mr. Cox, if you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would find you guilty of this county municipal violation, and I would assess court costs of $114.50, and you'd have some time to pay, and it would take care of this case. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case can get set for further proceedings.
I would rather just plead no contest.
I'll find you guilty based upon your no contest plea. I will assess court costs of $114.50. It takes care of this ordinance violation. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Next is Robert Knipfer. He is not present due to a medical issue.
And Mr. Knipper is not on Musco for today, but we do have a victim logged into Zoom. So I'm assuming that we need to go on record.
Let's go on the record. Court will call 25 CM 2771, State of Wisconsin versus Robert Knipfer, appearances. Oh, and 24 CM 2636.
ADA Carl Lassers for the state.
Attorney C. Joseph Antola for Mr. Robert Knipfer, who is not present.
The court's been informed, and everyone in here has been informed that Mr. Knipfer has had a medical situation which prevents him from appearing here today. Is that correct, bailiff?
Yes.
I know that there might be someone who wishes to be heard in regards to today. The hearing is going to be set over to tomorrow. I believe I saw you unmute yourself. Lana Olson, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Olson, because of the medical situation, Mr. Knipfer's they're gonna reschedule it for tomorrow, hopefully. I don't know if that medical situation will allow his appearance tomorrow or not.
May I speak for a moment, Your Honor?
Sure, ma'am.
I'm Robert's mother. Robert is probably going through heroin withdrawal, and that's the medical emergency. I highly doubt it will be over. I am a registered nurse, and I have seen Robert go through withdrawal. It usually takes him a good week to week and a half to come out of the withdrawal.
There's timelines that require, if you're in custody for an initial appearance. So tomorrow, I do believe they will make every effort to make sure he appears, because I believe tomorrow is a must go for his appearance. Okay, ma'am?
Okay. Is there a specific time that I can log back in? Because I would like to speak.
Tomorrow at 1:30. That's when our initial appearances are always held at 1:30.
All right.
Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are adjourned in Mr. Knipfer's cases.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to get out of this thing.
When we are ready, Jeffrey Nelson.
This is. I think that besides the food, a guy is. So I see,
I just.
yeah. Because you pass. You could put against something that was already high up, so but if you did that.
Oh, yeah.
With everything over it, the case of rice, it's thinking it on, don't put that mess.
Oh.
Fair. Jeffrey Nelson. Nelson. You stand on the LUDINGTON.
Court will call 25 CF 2628, State of Wisconsin versus Jeffrey Markeith Nelson. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Attorney C. Joseph Fantola present with Mr. Jeffrey Nelson, who has represented to me that he does not want me to represent him today.
Mr. Nelson, we are here solely for an initial appearance. You wish to represent yourself and not have a public defender solely for this initial appearance. Do you, how old are you?
39.
What education have you completed?
I got some college.
Some college degree, you've completed high school?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Have you had any alcohol, drugs, or medications that interfere with your thinking here today?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been found not competent?
No, ma'am.
All right, for today's purposes, I'll find that you can represent yourself. That waiver for counsel is knowing, intelligent, and voluntary. There's an address on the front of that complaint, sir. Is that your best mailing address?
Yes.
State's position on, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges one felony charge. State's position on bail.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking for cash bail in the amount of $7,500 with the non-monetary condition of no operating a motor vehicle and no possession or consumption of alcohol. The reason for that request is it's alleged in this complaint that Mr. Nelson fled from as many as 3 different law enforcement agencies in a car. And Mr. Nelson allegedly did this while on probation in Dane County cases 22 CF 2948 and 22 CF 1733. Also, Mr. Nelson was convicted of a separate flee elude incident, and he was convicted on March 5th of 2025 in Dane County. In the past and those prior cases I've alluded to, Mr. Nelson has posted significant cash bond in his cases. And also, to the extent it's relevant, per a driving record, it's believed that Mr. Nelson does not have a driver's license in the state of Wisconsin. For these reasons, we would ask for that amount of cash bond with those non-monetary conditions.
I object to that, Your Honor.
This is your opportunity to tell me what you think I should do in setting bail here today.
I feel like I should get a signature bond. Every court date I had, I appeared to, even in the cases that I represented myself. He was one of the DAs that I struck a deal with. I never ran, I always showed up to court. So I don't need to get no outrageous bond because I got a PO hold as well. So ain't like I'm going nowhere and I don't got no intentions to run. So I should get a signature bond because every court date I made.
Looking at the conduct in this case that's alleged, Mr. Nelson, in the fleeing from police, I find that you're a flight risk. Looking at, you've been convicted of a March 5th, 25 eluding, similar conduct, fleeing from police. I find that you are a flight risk. Therefore, I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure your appearance at future court dates. I'm going to set cash bail in the amount of $2,500. I'm going to order that you not operate a motor vehicle during the pendency of this action. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action.
I object to that too, Your Honor.
You've had your opportunity and I've ruled. Now, you can have your preliminary hearing sooner within the time limits, or you can have it set out and have it later if you wish to waive those time limits. Do you
Why
want your
can't,
preliminary hearing within the time limit?
I
or do
can't
you
settle
want
the
it
matter
set out?
today.
Sir, do you want your preliminary hearing?
I'm a speedy trial, but why I can't
You've got to wait till after the preliminary hearing too.
why I can't settle the matter today?
Sir?
I'm just asking a
He is
question.
waiving his time limits. We'll schedule it accordingly and we are adjourned in Mr. Nelson's case.
So what's my bail is?
2,500, sir.
Next is WILBERT GORDY. Come on. All right, good to go. WILBERT GORDY. Please stand on the yellow X.
Court will call 25 CF 2632, State of Wisconsin versus Wilbert. Gordy, appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Mr. Wilbert Gordy appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. I can confirm that the address on it is accurate, and it appears that Mr. Gordy is eligible for public defender services.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to the misdemeanors and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Gordy's behalf. State's position on bail.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask for a signature bond, conditions of to include no contact with Officer Reisinger, that's Reisinger, except in that officer's official capacity. No alcohol, no dangerous weapons as defined by statute. No contact with an individual whose name is Annette. That's ANNETTE, last initial S, and a ban from any residence occupied by Annette S.
Any objection?
No,
Well, you don't want to say anything because it's going to be taken down on the recorder, so make sure you talk with your counsel.
No objections.
I will then give you a signature bond, sir. I will order during the pendency of this action, you have no contact with Officer Reisinger unless it's in the official capacity, that you not possess or consume any alcohol, that you not go armed with any dangerous weapons as described by statute, and you have no contact with Annette S. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
We're just going to need 1 minute. Thank you. Mr. Gordy will not be waiving the time limits. Thank you.
Waived and the preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
no.
You will be getting out today.
Next is Indigo Smith OLES, appearing via Zoom.
We'll need just a. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So I would say
Good, how are you? I think you know I'm gonna bug you, so I said, I think you know I'm gonna bug you about Delilah.
Oh, yeah.
This one's moving fast.
Yeah. Here, yeah. So- Okay. Oh, I-
Yes,
Back. Schedule next, I was to go on works, I guess. Devices on full.
Oh, I show up in here.
Worry a little bit about.
And it's worrying, you know, not in fact, it's not should be able to just.
Thanks for it. All the it's a cell phone, but it's not a cell phone. I think, everything. So I was like, one thing needs to be, so offensive.
Yeah, I just read that Charlie Boy off like he wants to change time.
Everyone's regulations, but it's by Zoom, correct?
Yeah, Indigo, Smith, OLES.
Court will call 25 CM 2770, State of Wisconsin versus Indigo Smith OLES. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office appearing for Mr. Indigo Smith OLES, who is appearing by Zoom from the Dane County Jail. Mr. Smith OLES, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, and have they given you a copy of your criminal complaint?
Yes, they have.
Okay, and the mailing address on that, 3220 Burke Avenue, is that a good mailing address for you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, we have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. Stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges. I cannot verify his eligibility for public defender services at this time, but I do have a note that said that he did not want SPD. Mr. Smith OLES, so I'm here from the Public Defender's Office. Are you comfortable with me representing you just for today's purposes?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Mr. Smith OLES, this is a criminal matter. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, you can go to the Public Defender's Office, see if you qualify, or you can hire one at your own expense. So going forward, make sure you're aware of that. Representation is here for today's purposes. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Smith OLES's behalf. State's position on bail.
The state is asking for a signature bond, conditions of no contact with Alberto R., banned from the 600 block of South Ingersoll, and a condition of no alcohol.
Any objection?
Mr. Smith OLES, so without providing any detail, do you have any objections to any of the conditions proposed by the state?
No, I do not.
Okay. We will not be objecting to any of the conditions. Thank you.
Then I will give Mr. Smith OLES a signature bond. I will order that you have no contact with Alberto R. You are banned from the 600 block of South Ingersoll Street, and you are not to possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. That is consistent also with the PSA report. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
I was like, I don't have a complaint. Forfeiture.
KRIK, NODICH is next for a forfeiture.
This drug. It's like consent of both.
Court will call 25 FO 2250 Dane County versus KRIK NODICH. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the county. Mr. NODICH appears in person in custody without counsel.
Ms. NODICH, I have what some people might consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminal. Instead, they've charged you with an ordinance violation. In this case, it's a county disorderly conduct. It's a municipal citation. Sometimes it is a case that can be resolved here today. Regardless of your plea in this case, if this is the only thing holding you, you will be released today.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the county's offer for resolution?
Yes, the county would offer that upon a plea of no contest or guilty to the sole count, we would recommend court costs only.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would find you guilty. I would assess a court cost of $114.50. You'd have some time to pay that. It would take care of this case. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case can get set for further proceeding. How do you wish to plead to this municipal violation?
No contest.
I'll find you guilty based upon your no contest plea. I'll assess court costs of $114.50. You'll have some time to pay that. It takes care of this case. Good luck to you, sir.
Sorry, sir.
He's either guess.
Who's that?
Probably Isaac Varela.
Next is Isaac Varela, appearing via Zoom.
Court call 25 CM 2769, State of Wisconsin versus Isaac Varela Sinicero. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Attorney C. Joseph Ventola appearing for Mr. Isaac Varela, who is appearing by Zoom video conference from the Dane County Jail. Mr. Varela, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay. And can you give me a,
He gave a thumbs up.
oh, thank you. And can you also give me a thumbs up if you have received a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes, I did.
He has both said and given a thumbs up that he received a copy of the criminal complaint. And then Mr. Varela, it gives a mailing address of 4322 Lumley Road. Is that a good mailing address for you?
So that is my ex-wife's address. That's the
What would be
only-
what would be a good mailing address for you?
Yeah, that would be a good mail address for now.
Okay. We would waive formal reading of the criminal complaint, stay in mute as to any misdemeanor charges, and it would appear that he is not eligible for public defender services at this time.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Varela Sinicero's behalf. State's position on bail.
The state is asking for a signature bond, a condition of no acts or threats directed to a Ronald, last initial O, no dangerous weapons, no alcohol, and no controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
Any objection?
Mr. Varela, do you have any objections that you to those conditions without going into detail?
No, not at all. So I got confused on on Rano. I can't have contact with him, or what is that?
So it's no acts of threats of violence toward a, what was it, Ronald M? Oh, no alcohol, no controlled substances or drugs without a valid prescription,
And no dangerous weapons.
and no dangerous weapons.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I have no objections.
I will then give you a signature bond. I will order no acts or threats of violence to be directed towards Ronald O. That you not go armed with any dangerous weapons as described by statute, that you not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this case, and that you not possess or consume any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is Cedric Phillips. Mr. Phillips.
Court call 25 SIA 2443, State of Wisconsin versus Cedric Phillips. Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Mr. Cedric Phillips appears in person and in custody alongside attorney C. Joseph Ventola from the State Public Defender's Office. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We would waive its formal reading. Mr. Phillips has told me that there's a better mailing address for him. I would just ask him to share that with the court.
229 Walnut Street, Oregon, Wisconsin, apartment 2,
What's the zip code there?
53575.
Thank you.
It would appear that he is eligible for public defender services, and we would stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. As to the misdemeanor charges, I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. State's position on bail.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state is asking for a cash bond in the amount of $2,000, a condition of no acts or threats of violence directed at Teresa C., that's THERESA, last initial C. The reason for that bond recommendation is, according to my notes, it's believed that Mr. Phillips may actually reside in the state of Georgia, and that he was only in Madison to visit the victim in this case when Mr. Phillips allegedly fled after the victim was finally able to call 911 during this incident. There's indications that Mr. Phillips announced, basically indicated he's done with the relationship, which is the state's understanding of Mr. Phillips's only tie to Madison. I certainly could be wrong if there's other ties, but that's our position right now. I believe felony intimidation of a victim and battery are Act 3 offenses. But yes, that is the total of the state's recommendations.
Ben's position.
We would be asking for a signature bond on this case. Looking at Mr. SEDRICK's record, I see that he has, I can't even call it a conviction. He has one county forfeiture for disorderly conduct on his record from 2020. Mr. Phillips is not a routine offender. He's not someone who gets arrested very often, it would seem. And the one time that he had any whiff of trouble, it had a relatively minor resolution. Mr. Phillips has lived in Dane County. I have here, he's lived here the last 3 years. He did come here from Georgia, but he has 4 children. At least 2 of them are with the alleged victim. So he has children here in Dane County. If I have this right, the conditions were no acts or threats of violence toward the alleged victim on this case.
Correct.
Was that the only condition proposed by the state? I apologize.
The only non-monetary condition.
Yes, okay. I would also say, Mr. Phillips is eligible for public defender services. He has worked a bit in Wisconsin. It does not appear that he has a significant work history here in Wisconsin, and his family does qualify for food stamps, Badger Care. Qualifying for public defender services, $2,000 is a very high amount for someone in his circumstances to have to pay. If he's providing for, minimally 2 children here in Wisconsin, $2,000 is going to be a significant amount of money to for him to post. I see this as a signature bond case, given his history, given that he's not a violent offender or even really an offender. Nothing. Oh. Nothing further. Thank you.
Given the lack of history, given the fact that he was arrested on a warrant, it looks like very recently, so he hasn't fled the area in regards to these charges that have occurred. And given the lack of criminal history or failures to appear that have been presented at this time, I am going to give Mr. Phillips a signature bond. I am going to order that you direct no acts or threats of violence towards Teresa C. during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
Mr. Phillips has represented that he would like to waive the time limits.
Time limits are waived. The status of conference shall be scheduled. We are adjourned in Mr. Phillips' case. Good luck to you, sir.
It's exactly what we just talked about. Yeah. Yes, you're getting out today. Good luck, sir.
Next is Carl Jones, appearing via Zoom for a bail bond hearing.
I believe Mr. Jones also has an initial appearance. Does he not have a copy of the new complaint back?
You should have one complaint on it.
Okay, yeah, there's one initial appearance and one failure.
Court will call 25 CF 2116 and 25 CF 2627. State of Wisconsin versus Carl Jones, appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office, appearing for Mr. Carl Jones. Mr. Jones, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint on your newest case? If you can give me a thumbs up. It appeared.
Bail said it's pretty loud in that area. They'll need the court to speak louder.
Okay. Mr. Jones, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay. And can you give me another thumbs up if you have received a copy of the criminal complaint? And I should say for the record, he gave a thumbs up to whether he could hear me.
Looks like the bailiff is handing him paperwork right now, and he just gave the court a thumbs up.
Okay, and Mr. Jones, on that complaint, it should have a mailing address of 200 East US Highway 14, Janesville, Wisconsin, 53545. Can you give me a thumbs up if that is a good mailing address for you? He is, yeah, I've gotten a thumbs down.
We'll need to unmute.
Yeah, we'll need to unmute for a proper
I'm gonna
address.
give the best mailing address for him.
If there's too much noise, he is in a segregation cell somewhat nearby, so you'd be able to go and visit him in person.
Yeah, I'd be happy to see him.
Sir, what's the best mailing address for you?
Mifflin. No, 1819 Aberg, sorry.
All right, we'll update that to 1819 Aberg Avenue. Thank you, sir.
We would waive formal reading of the criminal complaint, and stand mute as to any misdemeanor charges, and as for his eligibility for public defender services, if I have this correct, yes, so his eligibility on the most recent case has not yet been confirmed, but on his other open cases, he has been appointed private counsel through the Public Defender's Office, Attorney Reed Cornea. I expect that he would be found eligible on his most recent case too.
All right, on the newest case, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to count 1, enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. State's position on the newest case and the return on warrant.
Yes, Your Honor. On the newest case, 25 CF 2627, the state is asking for a $2,000 cash bond with a condition of no controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. In the bail bond hearing case or return on warrant, the state is asking for a $500 cash bond, which previously, I believe, was a signature bond with the same non-monetary conditions previously imposed, which I believe previously included pretrial services. The reason for the state's request across the two cases is it's my understanding that this is Mr. Jones's third open felony case. There's an allegation that he failed to appear in 25 CF 579 on May 21st, 2025. And then he, I believe, had a return of warrant approximately 2.5 weeks later on June 9th, 2025. Then Mr. Jones received a signature bond in that case on June 11th, 2025. In 25 CF 2116, I believe Mr. Jones was given a signature bond with pretrial services on September 18th of 2025. But there was a bench warrant for a pretrial services violation authorized on September 19th of 2025. And then there was a failure to appear on, I think, just recently on Monday, November 17th, 2025, which was the day before the new incident in 25 CF 2627. There seems to be indications of failure to appear concern. And for those reasons, we'd ask for this amount of cash and these non-monetary conditions.
Position.
Mr. Jones, can you give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you agree with the non-monetary conditions proposed by the state?
I can't hear anything, sir, because this guy next to me is banging. He's doing it attention.
You know, I think at this point, the information that I've been provided about Mr. Jones is fairly limited. Would it be possible to go see him?
Absolutely. The court will take a break. We're back on the record in the Carl Jones cases. Counsel had an opportunity to go speak with Mr. Jones. Counsel, did you have enough time to talk to Mr. Jones?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Position on bail.
You know, after talking to Mr. Jones, getting to know him just a little better with the time that I had, we would be asking for signature bonds on this case primarily because of Mr. Jones's inability to pay. I should also say at the outset, no objections to any of the non-monetary conditions proposed by the state. Looking at Mr. Jones's history and what he was able to tell me, he has lived in Dane County for the last 27 years of his life. He has two children here, ages 13 and 6. He also has a really extensive network of extended family here in Dane County. I looked through his CCAP history. I don't see any criminal convictions on his record since 2018. He also he had wanted me to explain to the court some of the issues that he had with initially doing his pretrial supervision. It stated that when he had gotten out, it was on a Friday, he got out, and by the time he got to pretrial supervision, it was, I think he said, 11 minutes after they had closed. He had difficulties getting there on the following Monday. I know that's not necessarily reason not to come, but he initially had a roadblock to coming to pretrial services. He did try to report in a timely manner. It was just he was released ever so slightly too late. The other important thing is, as I was talking to Mr. Jones, he did tell me that, he would be open to having an ankle monitor. I do think that could assuage some of the non-appearance concerns, so long as he's let out early enough in the day that he has no issues getting to pretrial services monitoring. I don't foresee him having any issues that would prevent him from getting to pretrial services for monitoring. I understand, given the nature of the open cases, that the court very may well be looking at cash bail here. Given that Mr. Jones has not worked for, I believe he had told me, at least 3 years, given that he has been deemed indigent on at least the previous open cases he had, not necessarily the newest one, I would ask that, minimal cash bail be imposed, if any cash is to be imposed at all. But based off of what Mr. Jones has told me, I don't believe that he would have any ability to pay cash. And so, the ankle monitoring might be an appropriate alternative. At the very least, the court would always be aware of his location, and it would, as I said earlier, probably assuage some of the non-appearance concerns. Thank you.
In 25 CF 2116, it does look like it was first warrant was issued for his failure to comply with the GPS monitoring and checking in with bail monitoring. However, then there was an actual non-appearance warrant issued for his failure to appear November 17th. In that case, there is a PSA report that was authored September 18th. It indicated 5 out of 6 on new criminal activity, 3 out of 6 on failure to appear, and ultimately recommended cash bail. However, he was still given a signature bond given that. That PSA report indicated no failure to appears in the past 2 years. We now have an additional failure to appear, which would strengthen the cash bail position in the PSA report. Given his non-appearance and non-compliance, I am going to set $500 cash bail in 25 CF 2116 and reinstate all non-monetary conditions. In the newest case, given the PSA report, given the non-appearance, I will set cash bail in the amount of $500. I will again, and I will order that he not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Time limits on the newest case, counsel.
Mr. Jones, if you can hear me, do you have an opinion on waiving the preliminary hearing time limits? Otherwise, I'm just not going to waive those for you. And I will say, from having gone back there, it is very loud back there.
Can I say this first? We don't have any tax. We just buried my grandma.
Sir, I've already set the bail. Now it's a matter of if you want your preliminary hearing sooner or later. Would you like to have it sooner, given that you're sitting on cash bail, sir?
Well, what difference would it make, ma'am?
You can have your preliminary hearing sooner, or you can waive time limits and have it later. It's up to you, but you're on cash bail, so you would be getting to court sooner.
When would I be getting to court sooner? Whatever that could get me to court sooner, ma'am.
Okay. We'll
Ma'am,
find that we are not waived time limits and the preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely. We are adjourned in Mr. Jones' cases.
We're gonna just take a brief break while we wait for the interpreter to get here. The last case.
Is that for Ms. Fawn?
It is.
Yep.
Court will call 25 CF 2630. State of Wisconsin versus Shetting Fan. Appearances.
Oh, I don't know. Her father wanted to know this. It's here.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Appearances.
ADA Carl Lazarus for the state.
Ms. XUETING Fan appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney C. Joseph Fantola from the State Public Defender's Office. We also have an interpreter present for Ms. Fan. I have received a copy of the criminal complaint. I have reviewed it with Ms. Fan before making this appearance. We would waive its formal reading. I would just ask. Ms. Fan has represented that the mailing address on the complaint is accurate, and it would appear that at this time she is not eligible for public defender services.
For the record, the interpreter's name is Holly, Holly, Chen, Chen.
That is correct.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges 4 felony charges. State's position on bail.
The state would ask for bail in the amount of $1,000 cash, conditions of no contact with Steve A, ban from the 5700 block of Dorset Drive in Madison. And we'd ask for pretrial services specifically for GPS monitoring. The main reason for these requests is that it's alleged that in the first case, which is the basis of the felony bail jumping, that stalking behavior has gone on for over a year, or at least a year. It's alleged that Ms. Fan has violated her bond conditions, which were set just last month. And we believe, at least now, that at least pretrial services with GPS is appropriate, given the combined allegations between the 2 cases. Thank you.
Position on bail.
Just going to take one moment to speak to Ms. Fan and make sure she understands the conditions proposed. You're okay with that condition, and they have asked for a condition to stay with. And they have also asked for a condition to submit to the concrete file services on the truck. They essentially want so I'm thinking their location. Do you agree with that, or do you not? You're okay with this? You understand?
Yes, it sounds okay because Chris is
And lastly, they've asked for $1,000. That means it's unless you can pay $1,000, which you will get back at the end of the case. After we get the jail, can you pay $1,000? If you prefer, that's the thing. They release you just like they did last time without the bank. Would you order for that? Okay. Yeah. I can look at it. You have any other questions with this? Go for it.
But I don't know, it's, the board of jail, the bail, for I owe them, because last time charges. They did to, why pay them, I did come to jail. That makes me have an impression, I mustn't think, oh, and the jail, some sort of telephone.
I currently walk around, this case, prosecutors asking for $1,000 to bail.
Sure, we can try this. If you need them.
And if I will ask and argue for less than that.
As I don't understand, probably can help. I can always afterwards and then don't confess to any parts of it and we do that after I got access to my personal.
Are you ready for us to continue? Okay.
So after taking the time to talk to Ms. Fawn and make sure that she understands all the conditions proposed by the state, she has expressed that she has no objections to any of the non-monetary conditions that the state has proposed. As for the monetary conditions, we are asking for a signature bond on this case. Ms. Fawn has represented that she might be able to post $1,000, she might not. It depends on the availability of her father to help her pay the money. But, what I think is most significant in why a signature bond is appropriate. Ms. Fawn, I was here, I represented her at her initial appearance on her other open case. That is 25 CF 539. During that time, she had expressed that she wanted to go forward with the hearing without an interpreter present. There were, and it's reflected in the CCAP notes, a lot of questions during that initial appearance, whether she understood what was going on, whether she wanted us to set it over for an interpreter. And while she insisted on going forward without an interpreter, there were, again, several expressions that she did not understand the proceeding without an interpreter. We now have the benefit of an interpreter. I've gone over things very thoroughly with Ms. Fawn. She seems to understand. But she, from what I can tell, did not appear to fully understand the bail conditions that were imposed on her in 25 CF 539. And based on what is alleged in the complaint, it appears that once she understood that the bail conditions included no electronic contact. She was under the impression that this was no in-person contact. She immediately called the police and turned herself in. At least that's what's alleged in the complaint. She reported herself. She said that she had, based on what is in the complaint, if I have this right, she had said something to the effect of she wanted to turn herself in. I don't believe that Ms. Fawn is a danger. I don't believe that she is a flight risk. She owns her own home here in Dane County. Given that she is willing to submit to pretrial services monitoring, given that there is a real possibility that something got lost in translation with her bond conditions, I do think, and I would be a fool not to mention, Ms. Fawn has no criminal history whatsoever. Yes, she does have another open case, but she has never been convicted of any offenses, turned herself in voluntarily. Current offenses are not Act 3 eligible. Given the circumstances, I do think a signature bond is the most appropriate. And while it's possible that there is some cash bail that she can post, I would ask that it would be an amount no more than, say, $500. Thank you.
To Ms. Fahn's credit, it looks like she did call and turn herself in regards to these violations, but it sounds like she was clear that she was not to contact and she knew she did. That's why she turned herself in. looking at the lack of criminal history, looking at the allegations as set forth in this complaint, I'm gonna set cash bail in the amount of $200. I'm going to order no contact with Steve A. You cannot call, write, message, text, email, no contact whatsoever with Steve A. You are banned from the 5700 block of Dorset Drive. Given that this is an electronic violation that's alleged, given the immediacy of Miss Fans turning in, I am not gonna order GPS at this time. Or pretrial services. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing counsel.
I just take one moment to speak with her.
I know that no attorneys has been appointed or retained in the other case that has a prelim in a few minutes.
That is also my understanding, yes.
Yes, for the new case.
Ms. Vaughn will not be waiving time limits. Thank you.
Time limits are not waived. A status conference shall be timely, or a preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, ma'am.
That's it.
That's on the wire.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen.